Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for April 2023. This is a general reading and the messages will not resonate with everyone. I suggest that you check back to your Moon and Rising signs. But also, if you need to gain more information on your own situation, more insight, you can email me at that address, hiddenlotustarot@gmail.com, for a reading. And you simply go to the About box section of the channel. There I have listed my reading packages, the number of minutes, number of questions, and the price. Pick your package, email me and say, hey Tara, I want the 45-minute reading, and then I'll get back in touch with you. Usually it's 24 to 48 hours that I respond, so be checking your spam folder to see if I've responded, because that's typically where my emails go, okay? I have with me today the Radiant White deck, the Levita Sibila for clarification, and let me move I got 2 cups down here. I got a cup of tea and a cup of hot chocolate. And we're going to wrap the reading up with the Psychic Oracle Tarot, or the Psychic Tarot. While I was meditating and shuffling on the Libra sign and glyph, I did have a card present itself. So let me turn the camera around, and I'm going to put one more rifle and shuffle. Here you see the card, and I'll show that to you in just a second. I'm going to put one more rifle and shuffle on, oh, I need that, on the deck, and then we'll get started with the reading. Ooh, these cards are so slickery. This is a new deck. I'm letting my old deck rest a bit. I did clean these, but they're still super slick. Cut the deck. Now, the card that presented itself is the 7 of Swords. Okay, that's our first card down. Next card, oh, the 2 of Cups. Well, now, I don't know if infidelity is suspected here in this next card. 6 of Cups. That's quite interesting. Which says, on the one hand, this is a soulmate relationship, but there may be some infidelity suspected here. Let's get the rest of the cards down. There's the Chariot. Now I have 2 7s. Childhood friend, perhaps. The High Priestess. And I have seen her show up as the other woman. The woman you didn't know nothing about. Okay? So now I have 2 7s and I have 2 2s. All right, Page of Wands, so some kind of news or message coming in. The 4 of Swords, taking time out. And from the 3 with the Chariot, from the 7 of Swords with the Chariot in the center and the 4, that's 3 swords, the 3 of Swords. Then there's the 2. I don't know what to think or believe. And then there's the 6 of Wands. Now that's quite interesting, because I have 3 2s here. 2 7s, 2 6s, 2 major arcana, 2 cups, 3 swords, 2 wands. So that's quite interesting. Now, what is the energy over the entire reading? It is the 4 of Cups. Some new kind of proposal, some new kind of emotional thing being presented to you, and you're not quite sure what to do with it or whether you want to accept it. Now, this card can sometimes indicate boredom. It can indicate stagnation. It also counsels that you should not perhaps refuse this potential cup, because it could be a cup of happiness. Now, I think what I find most interesting here are these 2 cards in the center, because they both counsel to trust whatever your intuition is telling you. Okay? But sometimes the High Priestess can be just that, the hidden thing, the mystery. The answer is, there is no answer for you at the moment. You don't know. The cards don't want to tell you. Let's start with the 2 7s. 2 7s worn on one hand of false friends. Okay. 2 6s warn of issues surrounding equality affecting the relationship. 3 2s are an indication of a wedding. Well, I don't necessarily see that here, but that's one of the meanings. Okay, so that's that. Now let me give you the other meaning. Oh, I didn't give you the 2 7s. Self-confidence issues may cause instability in the relationship. So this could be you being all moody-o and can't explain to somebody why you feeling the way you feeling. So we're gonna go first to the 2 7s. False friends. Again here, I think if that's the case, it's somebody that's close to you, and maybe a childhood friend. Could even be a relative. Okay. Now 3 2s. Indeed, warn of an extramarital affair. And that's what I was saying. That speaks to more of what the energy is rather than the wedding. Okay? There's no wedding here. This is an indication that there's a couple already together. And then 2 6s speak to justifiable faith and trust in your partner. Now, I find that to be a rather odd thing. And the reason why I say that is I'm looking at this row. And if this is a card of infidelity or spying or cheating based upon choices of another, somebody wins the victory. Doesn't tell me who. Okay? So I only have the one court card, which is the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands is an indication. Let me find him. He's the Page of Wands. I don't know which page this is. Hold on. Let me find him. The Page of Wands. The keywords are messages, faithfulness, a lover, an envoy, an ally, a messenger, messages, consistency, stability, progressive, direct, charming, energy, vigor, new beginnings, application, loyalty, reliability, assiduous, and studiousness. The time frame is within 10 weeks. Promises good news about a young relative or friend, but it may also indicate that a young man will be a faithful friend during a difficult time. It suggests that family problems are coming to an end. A close friend could help enlighten you, and you will see things from a new perspective. Now, it doesn't feel as though this is what am I trying to say? So I'm looking at two different outcomes is what I'm looking at. But it doesn't tell me if you're going to be successful in repairing your relationship or if the other woman comes in and takes your partner. This will apply no matter if it's heterosexual or same-sex couples, whomever's going to take the role of the other female, okay? Within a 10-week time frame. So let me just get to the cards and see if there are any additional information, any messages here. We'll start as the cards fell with the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords. Indicates that things may not work out as planned or expected. It indicates that dealings may be dishonest or not straightforward and direct. Therefore, it brings a message to be particularly aware of all proceedings and remain cautious. Now, it can carry a message that something you thought lost will be returned to you. This can include the rekindling of old friendships and old ties. But there's also the possibility of tension, arguments, disagreements, misunderstandings within a current situation. It may imply that someone is spying or delving into issues that are not their business. With the 7 of another suit, it is an indication that huge life changes, are about to take place. It is a strong indication that you have reached an important point in your life and that change is inevitable. It tells of starting over under new or different circumstances with new and favorable conditions abound. Well, 2 of Cups with the High Priestess tells of feeling insecure within a relationship or insecurity involving a loved one. It tells of being unable to penetrate your partner's depths, making you feel incomplete and uncomfortable. It is an indication that you feel insecure in regards to a loved one. Remember when I said it could just be you acting all moody-o and not able to tell anybody how come you acting that way? I would say in one regard that's true. You may suspect infidelity. I would say in another regard there is infidelity. Okay? That's it for the 2 of Cups. Let's go to the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups. Oh, that's not the Empress. That's the High Priestess. Nothing of the 6 of Cups with any of these, with these 2 cards. So now we move to the 4 of Swords. Implies that someone may have been previously involved in a complicated situation involving many people. It gives the impression of feeling isolated, cut off, and out of touch. It is time to seriously consider new ways and plans for the future. It is asking you to prepare yourself for changing circumstances and tells of a need to take time to contemplate and reflect and to renew both your mental and your physical energies. That's all the 4 of Swords says. Doesn't tell me anything next to these 2 cards. So now we move to the 2 of Swords. Nothing about the 2 of Swords. But it can be indicating the breakdown of a once close relationship and that there is an urgent need for a balanced and rational approach to the situation. It tells of difficult decisions to be made. It indicates weighing up the pros and cons and tells of important decisions and choices to be made. It may also indicate a stalemate in your affairs and a feeling of not knowing which way to turn. You may need to look at a new or different approach. Where emotions are involved, the 2 of Swords tells of mixed emotions and a feeling of confusion. This can lead to feelings of upset and sorrow. It may be foretelling of unsettling communications. But the message is that to achieve a satisfactory compromise, honest and open communication is needed. Do not allow prior grievances and bitterness to influence the communication. It also cautions you to show restraint and caution against making rash decisions you may later regret. Well, now the 6 of Wands. Here with the High Priestess. It indicates that a time is coming up where you may be intrigued and interested in the metaphysical realm. it tells that it is important to seek out more knowledge of the metaphysical philosophy. That's all it says. It doesn't tell me anything else. Now, just out of curiosity, because we have this Four of Cups sitting over this entire reading, let's see if there's an indication. There is not. Well, first thing I'm going to look at it is really between this Seven of Swords and this Page of Wands to start. So I want to look at the Page of Wands, and I'm going to tell you why. It is the last card down on the present row, but the second card out in the future column. Past, present, future, past, present, future. But it also has the knighting. Whatever this is, there's a message. It turns into the Three of Swords. Somebody ghosting or kind of disappearing off the scene and not saying anything. Why? Because they don't know what to think. Then it's halved again to the Two of Swords. This could be, is someone lying to me, or are they pulling the wool over my eyes? This is the hoodwinked, one of the two hoodwinked cards in the deck. I don't have enough information to make a decision, so I will do nothing. And even that is a decision to do something. So let me take a look at this Page of Wands here. The dilettante. The prigione. And the domestico. Now, the dilettante is this idea of someone in your environment being toxic. This is the idea of plurality, okay? So it warns of toxic people in your environment. It warns of people with mutually exclusive beliefs, people who are able to lead you down the wrong path. So for all I know, this could be speaking about if you are having an affair with someone else, okay? The person is leading you down the path to perdition, all right? But also, there's a stalling. Somebody who's stuck. They can't get out of the position that they are in, or they are refusing to. They're stalling. They're dragging their feet. But this card says that there's a window of opportunity. There are 3 steps or necessary actions to be taken. There is a banister over here to hold on for support, and eventually there's a way out. Not seen yet. We don't know why that is. And then we have this domestico. Now, for all intents and purposes, he's a helper card. But it also represents the man returning. It represents the idea of a collaborator. So his role is rather ambiguous. Is he really helping himself, or is he doing it for himself? Okay, so the role is rather ambiguous. I don't know if this is some kind of message, like the person comes back to say, you know what, I was drunk, I'm sorry. But they're stalling. They're giving excuses. This is what I feel. I want to double check something right quick. They're stalling on either telling the truth. They're stalling. And so what ends up happening is that you don't talk about it. Nothing is said. And that can lead to this idea of misunderstandings, things happening that are not above board. And it leaves a lot of room for doubt. Now, let me see. What it says It describes setbacks, delays, accidents, recklessness, disorganization, opposition, mutually exclusive beliefs, precarious conditions, and transitory states. It is a card that heralds complications of all kinds and the worsening of a situation inquired about, as well as arguments and confusion. It heralds problems and trouble on all fronts, grave arguments and falling out with clients, partners, and or family members. It also warns of foolish decisions and dangerous situations caused by someone's lack of control. The person is an egoist, which is why they're stalling. They're not wanting to admit what they're doing is wrong. So those are the 2 9s. Hold on, let me look back because there's a couple of 9s here. The combination of the 3 9s. Okay, so it's not the 2 9s. It's simply it's not the 3 9s. It's the 2 9s. It is the 9 of diamonds and the 9 of spades. So let's go back over here to the spades. Now, this card represents anything that chains you to a situation, a person, or an idea. It can be literal, such as an addiction, a dependency, an abusive relationship, physical subjugation to another, incarceration, or figuratively being prey to your own fear and emotions. It highlights a condition of helplessness, of being powerless to change events. It represents victims. It also indicates a situation of deprivation, of isolation, and of a lack of support. Its primary meaning is that of a loss of a friend, but this can also be applied to the loss of a mate or a spouse, however, not through bereavement. The card also acts as a warning. It warns of a potential loss of one's freedom and of situations of subjugation and subordination to another. In love, it represents someone who is closed-hearted and does not know how to truly love. It also represents someone who is single due to a character flaw. In a relationship, it heralds separation or divorce. It indicates a situation that does not change for the better and a blockage from which one cannot free themselves, and or that someone is stonewalling you. Be careful. Now, the next card I want to look at is the 7 of Swords. Be careful. Don't stay out too late. Okay. I want to look at this 7 of Swords. Do I think it's possible that you might be able to get over this if that's the case? The answer is yes. But in which case, if you forgive him or you forgive her, then you can't bring that shit up again. You're going to have to let it lie and make your peace with it. Okay? Now, does that mean you might be feeling any kind of way if the person is late for any reason and didn't tell you? You know, are you going to panic and freak out and start accusing him? You can't do that if you forgive him. Once you forgive him, it has to be a done deal, especially if you're sleeping with him. The Morte. The Messaggere. And the Falsità. Well, there you have it. The Morte is the cosmic scissors card. It comes to cut a situation. It is abrupt and it is final. Why? Usually because someone has said something or done something. They've crossed a Rubicon and the situation can never go back to the way it was before. Ever. Okay? because there's some news. And if you'll see that he's facing that, the news is someone's been perpetrating a fraud. They've been cheating. They've been lying. They've been, like I said, perpetrating a fraud. And that message comes. And when the message comes, it cuts the whole situation. It can never go back to the way it was before. Let me read you the falsità. I think what I find interesting about the Sibilas is that the diamonds is, even though you think the swords would be, the spades would be the worst, it's usually the diamonds. It is a card of lies, false adulation, and of compliments given with an ulterior motive. It uncovers people's true intentions towards you, which are never what they outwardly seem to be. This is a card that represents someone often very close and possibly a long-standing acquaintance or even a family member who is two-faced and plotting against you. It is a card that represents murky and thorny situations woven with a tight web of lies and deceit, and often you are not aware of the true state of affairs as the people are skilled in the way they can deceive you. It represents someone who is taking advantage of your trust and good faith in them. Now, this card in almost all cases represents someone with false intentions. Okay? It indicates something is done or received perhaps in an illegal way. It indicates negativity. It implies envy, self-interest, deceitfulness, flattery, servility, and empty compliments. In love, it indicates infidelity, lies, and a partner with ulterior motives. It precludes the possibility of true love, unless it foretells the presence of a devious third person whose aim is to break up a couple. And I think that's what this is. It also warns that the situation is hiding a trap and that there is danger lurking in the background. Now, I'm going to say two things. And that's why I say it requires a personal reading, because this story can't turn out this way for everybody who may be going through this. So you have to get a personal reading to see exactly what's going on with your situation. But it appears to me that there is a third party who has entered into your relationship. And as I said, there are two separate outcomes, right? So I can't say, yes, you're going to get back together with the person, or no, you're going to divorce them. It's two separate outcomes, because it could be that he gets rid of this third party, right? You guys get back together, or he leaves you and gets with the third party. So it's going to depend on what your situation is. Nevertheless, what the card ends with is a Six of Wands, a victory card. It's saying that somehow or another you're going to overcome whatever the fight, the competition, or even the head games, because the Five of Wands says it can be a card of head games. Somebody saying one thing and doing another. And that's what this card's saying. This is somebody who is not on the up and up, and they're stalling. They're not being honest. They've got mutually exclusive beliefs. They're playing games, is what the card's saying. Now, who are they playing games with? You in the relationship, or they playing games with the other woman, with the side chick? Don't know. But this is a side chick situation. Okay? Whether the side chick is somebody else or you are the side chick. All right? Formulate your question. And now that puts a whole new spin on that Four of Cups. Is that offer being made to him? Leave her. Come be with me. Stay with me and leave her. Don't know. So that requires a personal reading. All right, here's your card. I'm not mistaken, that's the Justice card. It's called Balance. It almost looks like the Magician. You want to know why? Because he's got the wand, the cup, the pentacle, and the sword. But it is a number 11 card. And that is the Justice card. The card says, it represents the need for balance and harmony with your inner life, as well as with what is surrounding you in the physical world. That's why all of the suits are being represented. This denotes that some lifestyle adjustments are required at this time. It could be associated with love, relationships, business, or even your career. The Balance card is also being shown to you to make you realize that what you perceive to be happening around you is really an externalization of an inner process or conflict that you may be currently experiencing. This card will often appear if you work in the legal field or when you're involved in law-related matters. Have faith that justice will triumph, as justice and karma go hand in hand. Take only what you have earned, treat people fairly, do not take advantage of anyone. This is a part of living a balanced karmic life. When determining something, there must be a state of balance, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, so that you can make rational decisions and logical judgments. This is a time to be honest and caring and responsible for the choices that you've made, as well as the ones that will be made in the future. Now, sometimes the Justice card will come out, and instead of secular law, it will talk about karmic or societal law, okay? And so the card says that you have to look at all the facts and circumstances, and being balanced in both your emotions and your logic, you have to come to a fair decision. Even if that decision means you get the short end of the stick, it still says that it's balanced and it's fair, because that is karmic law. Karmic law is a law of cause and effect. Okay? That's all it is. Somebody decides to do something, and from there, there's effects or consequences that are associated with it. So that is what that card is saying. I do hope this helps you, Libra. Until next time, be well.